Related to the TCFD recommendations, a company should disclose the metrics and targets used to assess and manage relevant climate-related risks and opportunities. For that, it's necessary to apply three recommended disclosures. The first one is to disclose metrics in line with its strategy and risk management process. As a guidance, a company should include metrics related to water, energy, land use, and waste management. Also, a company should describe the relationship between performance metrics and remuneration policies. A company should also provide their internal carbon prices as well as the climate-related opportunity metrics, for example, the revenue from products and services designed for a lower carbon economy. Finally, a company should provide a description of the methodologies used to calculate climate-related metrics.
The second recommendation is to disclose the direct and indirect greenhouse gas emissions through the Greenhouse Protocol methodology. This protocol establishes three scope levels. The first one is the direct greenhouse gas emissions from its operational activities. The second scope is the indirect emissions that occur through the use of purchased energy. That is because the production of this energy through the combustion of fuels emit greenhouse gases. Therefore, the activities that use the energy indirectly cause these emissions. And the third scope is other indirect emissions that result from an organization's operations but aren't owned or controlled by the company. Some examples is the employee business travel or transportation of products or other outsourced activities.
The last one recommendation describes the targets used to manage climate-related risks and opportunities and perform against targets. Organizations should describe their key climate-related targets, such as those related to GHG emissions, water usage, energy usage, etc., in line with anticipated regulatory requirements or market constraints or other goals. In describing their targets, organizations should consider including the following: whether the target is absolute or intensity-based, time frames over which the target applies, base year from which progress is measured, and key performance indicators used to assess a process against targets. Where not an apparent organization should provide a description of the methodologies used to calculate targets and measure.
In regards to the status implementation, we found that more than the half of preparators have partially implemented the recommendations and more than 30% have fully implemented them. So it's a very positive aspect to highlight that the 91% of preparators have either one way or another, I mean partially or fully, implemented the recommendations. And in the future, the 67% of the organizations have stated that they have plans in order to fully implement them. That is a very good result, because in the short term it's guaranteed that more than a half, I mean the 67%, will fully adopt the recommendations.
As we can see, majority of respondents rated metrics and target as somewhat difficult to implement, and just 25% found it relatively easy. When they were asked about the key implementation issues, 42% answered that there is a lack of standardized metrics for the industry, 27% answered that they are just beginning to use climate-related metrics and targets and they are not ready to disclose them. 22% didn't give an answer. In conclusion, one of the main challenges for TCFD recommendations is to increase the standardization of metrics and targets in order to make it easier for the preparers of information.
There are several cases of which we could speak as an example of the TCFD recommendations.
Banco Itaú, Grupo Nutresa, ETB, Avianca, and others. However, today we will see the particular case of Grupo Arcos. In the last integrated report, Grupo Arcos used VAS, value added to society, as a metric. One of their three approaches was the environmental, and there they analyzed 5 components: greenhouse gas emissions, atmospheric emissions, alternative materials and fuels, biodiversity, and water consumption. The general conclusion of this report was that of the 804 points of the articles passed, 345 negative points were due to the environmental externalities. Now, this raises the questions: how much are the organizations really doing to protect the environment?